Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and in this new video, like I said on the video before, we are going to configure Tacacs Plus on a Cisco router, and we are going to use the ITProTV Labs. And if you guys want to, if you guys want to do the same thing, I'm just going to leave the link on the description below so you guys can go to ITProTV, sign up. They give you a free 1 week free trial, so you can go ahead and try it. And if you guys like it, go ahead and sign up with IT Pro TV. So I'm going to start with this lab, and I went and did the first lab, that is, they're implementing security on Cisco router using the CLI introduction. I mean, we're not going to do any of that. I'm just going to use the routers that they have here, and I'm also going to use this computer that I have here. So first of all, let's go ahead to the router. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to configure interface gigabit 0/0 with an IP address of 192.168.16.1, and this one should give me connectivity with this computer over here. And this computer IP address, you can just run the or open, oops, not FileZilla, the command prompt, and just do IP config. So here we go, 192.168.16.10. Let's see if we're able to ping it from NYH1. So let's go ahead and do ping 192.168.16.10. There we go. So we are able to ping the computer, and the computer is able to respond to me. Okay. So let's go ahead and start configuring this Tacacs. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to create a username and password. We are not really gonna be using it, but we have to set up a username and password on the local router, because just in case we lose connectivity with the Tacacs server, we want to log in to these. Um, we want to log in to the router using this local account. Okay, so let's go ahead and do secret and just do Cisco over here. So that's gonna be my password, Cisco. Let's hopefully I remember that. And now what we need to do first, we need to start this AAA. Um, and the way that you start that is by doing a AAA new model. And then after that, we need to configure the Tacacs server. We need to point to the Tacacs server. And the way that you do that is by going to Tacacs server. And then after that is going to, you do a question mark. It's going to ask you, what do you want to name your server? I want to name my server Tac Serve. That's what I want to name my Tacacs server. And now it's going to ask you, you can do a question mark over here. And the first thing that I need to configure is an address. So what is the IP address of the Tacacs server? And it's going to be an IPv4. It is 192.168.16.10, which is the IP address of this Windows device that I have over here. That's where I'm going to have my Tacacs server. And then after that, we need to configure a Tacacs key, which is the password of the Tacacs, and it's going to be called Tacacs key. That's what I'm going to call it. And then we exit out of here, and now we have configured the Tacacs server. So we have connectivity with the Tacacs server or the Windows computer, whichever you want to call it, right? So now what I want to do is triple H authentication. We want to configure authentication. And what do I want to authenticate? Well, I want to authenticate login, right? So let's do login. And then after that, let's do a question mark. And then it's going to ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a default or you want to do a word? Since we have not configured a word, or what this means is you can it can be set to as a specific group. So if you want to create groups like admin, basic users, or IT technicians, whatever you want to set up, so you can set it up over here. You can set up those groups, and then give each one of them groups a different authentication, right? But we are going to use the default. We're not going to use that. On the next video, I'm going to do that so you guys can see how you can do that, right? And then after that, you can do a question mark, and you can see that we can either um, authenticate either via cache, which is cached group, or enable. You can enable password for authentication, or we can use group, and group means that server groups. You can use Kerberos and Kerberos 5 telnet, line, local, local case, none, password, expire. So you can do none, never do none because it's not secure, right? What you want to do is group, and then you do a question mark, and you can see that the groups that you can have. Also, you can have a word right here, so you can have different Tacacs server. So if you configure um, different servers like I did over here, that I configure Tacacs um, groups over here, I configure one of them. So if you have like another server, you can just configure that Tacacs. Oh, not this one. This one over here. You can configure different servers. So one like in the Northeast, one in Japan, and all that. So you can go ahead and add all those Tacacs server over here. But since we're only going to do Tacacs, let's just do Tacacs Plus right here. And then um, after that, what you want to do is you want to have a backup. So where do you want to authenticate if Tacacs fails? And like I said before, I want to authenticate with the local account that I have created. And that local account is this one right here. So if I lose connectivity with the Tacacs server, you want to have a backup. And the backup is going to be my username and password right here that I set up. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set up authorization, right? And for this one, it's almost the same, but you want to do a security mode. That means that it's going to skip that mode and it's going to send me straight to the enable mode, right? And then after that, you can do a question mark. You can use another, again, a word, which is a group, a name group, right? Or a default. I want to set up just a default. And the group that I want to use for this is going to be Tacacs again. And what's going to be the backup? My backup is going to be the local, okay? And then let's go ahead and set up accounting, which is a little bit different than authorization and authentication. And for this one, it's accounting, exe, default, start, stop, Tacacs, start, stop, and then what? Okay, group, and then Tacacs. There we go. And we do not have backup for that because accounting is only um, getting the logs and stuff like that for that group, which is the default group. Okay, this is it. And then after that, I want to configure line VTY. So I want to configure Telnet, /forward, and logging in, authentication, and we are going to use the default group because it is the one that we set up over here. If we set up a word, right, or a group word, then you can set it up over here. But since it is default, we are going to leave it as default. And then you want to do transport input, and we are using Telnet. I know it's not secure, but that's the one that I want to do it right here because I don't want this video to be too long. And then after that, what you could do is you can do exit, and then we're going to test. Um, okay, so I think it froze a little bit. Okay, so I want to test triple A group Tacacs, and my username is Asker. What was the password that I gave? Um, I believe it was just Cisco. New code. And as you can see, the user was rejected, and it was rejected because I do not have my AAA server configured on this Windows device. So we have to do that next. And before we do that, I want to turn on the debug so we can see more information. So we're going to turn on debug Tacacs authentication. Oops, authentication, and then debug Tacacs authorization. There we go. So we have turned on all these two debug. And now let's go ahead and install a Tacacs server. And the one that I want to install is called ClearBox. ClearBox Tacacs. If we search it like that, you can see you can download a free trial, which they give you a 30-day free trial. If you have another server, you can use whatever server you want, but the one that I'm going to be using is this ClearBox server. So let's go ahead and download it. We can just go ahead and run it. Yep, run it again. Do you wish to configure? Yes. Next, we're going to accept it. Otherwise, we won't be able to install it. Next, we are only going to we only want to use Tacacs plus server. You can just input your password, whatever you want over here. Okay, next. Normal mode is good. That's fine. The name of it, install. So now we are installing it. And then after it's done, we are going to run it and configure it. There we go. And I don't want to, the quick manual, I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and finish. And there we go. So the first thing that you want to do is we're going to this configure the server. So we want to configure the server first. So what you want to do is you want to come over here, right click on it. We're going to add a new client. And this client over here, oops. So right click, new client. And the client ID, let's go ahead and see if we can, it's going to be called NYH1. There we go. So that's the client ID, which is the router host name of the router. And now what is the IP? It's 192.168. That six, yeah, that's 16.1/24. So what is the share secret? I believe I configure that to be Tacacs key, Tacacs key. I believe so. If since I don't remember, I want to go back over here and see what I set it up to, and it was Tacacs key. Okay, great. Let's go back to the computer. Tacacs key, good. And then we'll leave everything as a default, and we're going to apply the changes. Let's see. Yep, it is good. It is applied. So now what you want to do, you want to go to manage users. We need to create a user, and this user you want to just go ahead and delete that user because you are only allowed to have one user. And my username and password that I want to do is Oscar, and I just want to call it Cisco for my password. It's going to be Cisco, so that's good. And then the full name, you can just put Oscar, whatever your last name is. Um, so all of this is good. You're gonna leave everything as default. You want to go to Tacacs authorization, but before you do that, you need to save it, and that's fine. Save it. Go ahead and open it again. Go to Tacacs, and we're going to add some privilege over here. And the privilege that I want to add is going to be priv, which is privilege level, and I want to set up to 15, right? And then the other one is, I think it's servers, and I want to do shell. That's the privilege, that's the service that I want to give. Let's go ahead and save it. Yes. So that is great. So now what we want to do is we want to go to service control. And as you can see right here, this clear server service control, it is stopped, right? It is stopped. So you want to start this. If you don't run it, you won't be able to use Tacacs, right? So what you want to do right now, let's go ahead and just try to Telnet and see if Telnet is working. So you want to Telnet to 192.168.16.1 and see if we're able to Telnet. And as you can see right here, it's asking me for a login, and the login is Oscar, password is Cisco. Okay, so now if you go into a router, you're going to see the debug that we set up. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff coming in, and since I turned on the debug for Tacacs, you know that it is working. So AAA authentication, request 15 for processing. You can see that it is coming from this server, right? And then let's see if we find more stuff over here that we did. Socket, read, each sent out, get user, authentication, query. Let's see what we can find over here. The service was shell. We set it up to that. So that is there. And the AV privilege, it was privilege 15. And we pass. There we go. As you can see, we were able to authenticate using this Tacacs server. And if you think that is not working, what you could do is um, let's go ahead and exit PuTTY. Let's go ahead and open the Tacacs server again. Let's go ahead and stop it. And let's just create another username. Actually, let's just change the username and let's say that it is, let's set it up to actually Bradley. So let's set it up to Bradley and let's save it. That's fine. The password is going to be the same. So Bradley and his full name is Oscar Orlando. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and open PuTTY and let's Telnet. .16.1 and username. Oops, I don't want to use that clipboard. Username is Bradley and password is Cisco. So it is not working, and that's because I forgot to turn these. I forgot to turn this server back on. So let's go ahead and do that. Start. Let's go ahead and Bradley Cisco. So it is not letting me. Interesting. Let's go ahead and just cancel this and put it back again. And telnet again. 192.168.16.1. Open Bradley Cisco. And there you go. So now it is letting me with the new username that I created. And as you can see, Tacacs, it is working. And that's how you configure Tacacs. And this is it for this video, guys. And if you guys enjoy this video and if you guys enjoy this lab, go ahead and subscribe to ITProTV. And also, if you have a Twitter account, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.